Hi, everyone. I'm Jillian Kinzie, and I'm the Associate Director of the National Survey of Student Engagement, and I'm really happy to be with you here today to talk a little bit about NSSE and what it provides colleges and universities interested in improving the conditions for student success. I'm going to share my screen here in a second to give you a little more information about the project and our goals. The National Survey of Student Engagement has been around since 2000. Over this time, we have surveyed more than 6.5 million students at about 1,700 four-year institutions. Now, that's the National Survey of Student Engagement, and you'll notice there are two other acronyms visible on this slide. FSE, the Faculty Survey of Student Engagement, and BESE, the Beginning College Survey of Student Engagement. Today, I'm really going to focus on NSSE, but FSE and BESE are the companion tools that offer a faculty perspective and a entering student perspective on engagement. This is all part of the suite of tools at our shop. And there's also, many of you might be aware, if you're coming from a community college, of the Community College Survey of Student Engagement, NSSE. That's a sibling project. It's not located at Indiana University where I am, but it is located in Texas. And there are staff who work on that project specifically. But we try and overall provide a suite of tools to help institutions learn more about the quality of their students' experience with a design to help ensure that they're using survey information directly to inform their evidence-based improvement initiatives. So that is the nature of the project. And as I said, we've been at this for a long time and have had a number of institutions participate. If you're not sure if you're one of those institutions, I invite you to search our participating institution tool, use that tool on our website so you can learn a little bit more about perhaps your institution's history of participating. We are at a particularly important part of our project phasing here. This is our recruitment period for institutions. So we, between July and October annually, are recruiting institutions to participate in the project. Every year, about 500 or so institutions participate on their own individual cycle. And we just want to make sure that you're aware that registration for the 2024 survey administration will go on probably through the end of October. We have about the same timeline every year, and that is specific to NSSE. The faculty survey has a slightly longer timeline for registration. It can be a part of your survey protocol, and you can decide that as late as February to sign on for FSE. Now, I'm really happy to say that we are in our third decade now, and we have been studying our practice and documenting a little bit about our history. And I want to commend a publication to you that was created with help from the IUPUI Assessment Institute. And this publication comes out quarterly, and it's assessment update. And in 2020, we actually worked through an entire issue about NSSE issues and describe a little bit about the survey origin, its history, and most importantly, we are actually looking forward to our future of surveying students. So if you're unfamiliar with NSSE, I commend this publication to you as providing a great overview of what it is that we do and how long we've been doing it. Now, to get right into the particulars, NSSE is a survey project first and foremost, and there have been some very important advances in the survey research world. First, the survey that we invite students to complete is fully mobily optimized. They can complete it on their phones, on their desktop, on their tablets, whatever they're using. We've also, in addition to our longstanding core survey items about the extent to which students are engaged in effective educational practice, have recently added new items on sense of belonging, knowing that that's an important dimension of student engagement, and some additional items on effective teaching practices. So getting at some real course-based experiences that we know matter for students' engagement and success. We also allow institutions to append a number of topical modules. These are shorter sets that get a little bit more deeply at particular topics in higher education, including advising, civic engagement, experiences with online learning, writing, experiences with inclusiveness and engagement with cultural diversity, some really timely issues. we recently added a new set on mental health, knowing that that's really important to students. Now, in addition to these items being available for appending to a regular NSSE administration, we allow institutions to license these on off years. So we, if you're, for example, doing a particular study on advising practice, or maybe you have a quality enhancement plan that is focused on high impact practices, you might want to take advantage of the HIP quality set. So these items are available for licensing on off years, as well as being able to be appended to a NSSE survey. Now, there's lots of new things going on at NSSE, and one of them is that we have a fabulous new director. Leonard Taylor joined us actually just a short month ago in 2023 to be a part of the project, and we're super glad that he's joined us as our NSSE director. His work really focuses on student success and how that's enacted in colleges and universities, and Leonard brings a fresh perspective to our work. Now, a couple of other things that are new to NSSE, for those of you who maybe haven't participated in recent years, you'll notice that starting in 2023, we added some new identity questions. These are questions that get at broader dimensions of social identities. So we're inviting students to tell us a little bit more about who they are. And we know this matters for engagement. So in order to help you learn more about your students and how their engagement varies by identities, you need to have this information, and we use it for our research. So gender and sexual orientation are new revised questions. We also revised our disability items the year before. We also added an expanded Greek life item. We added a zip code item so that you can do that kind of analysis using zip code. We also expanded categories in our very popular high impact practice report to reflect these identities. And we also provided a new way of organizing our student comments, the open-ended part of our survey, by by featuring majors in there, which will then allow you to sort and better understand your students' comments by major category. First, the most important aspect of NSSE is that we deliver consumable, actionable reports to you directly. The first report I want to mention is the snapshot report. It comes in a very concise executive summary format, 4 pages, quick to get a broad overview of how your students compare to your chosen comparison groups. We also describe this using our engagement indicators, these 10 broad scales that are based on qualities of educational practice we know matter. So we provide you those measures. We also provide you a particular high impact practice report. We know the popularity of that measure, and we provide an extensive report on that. And then we also provide you a great deal of very in-depth descriptive information, frequencies, and statistical comparison reports. We also provide a major field report, which a lot of institutions really appreciate because it is broken down in majors that you define. We also have a pocket guide report, which is a little bit more geared towards perhaps folks who are working in admissions offices, again, providing a very high overview of your students' responses. And then, of course, the ever important data file so that you can manipulate it and add items to it based on your student information system as you see fit. I mentioned the student comments report that's been recently enhanced. We allow institutions to make a choice of the question that they actually pose to their students. And we have 4 questions that we know work really well to elicit students' comments. We create a report view. We provide all the comments in an Excel and an SPSS file, and then provide you some reports so you can better understand what your students' experiences look like. All of your groups are customizable throughout our reports, and that's a very important dimension of the NSSE project, is the capacity for creating distinct comparison groups. Now, NSSE is not just a survey instrument, it's really designed to be an actionable tool to help you inform your efforts to improve and enhance the quality of the experience. We've documented all the years that NSSE has facilitated this on campuses, and we have about 500 examples from institutions about all the varied ways that the data have been applied to their particular improvement initiatives. As I said, we really take great pride in providing diagnostic, actionable reports. That is really important. And as institutions continue to move through the pandemic and learn and come back to different practices, we think that it's really important to take stock of what you're doing and to see where your students' engagement resides. We know a lot of things have changed about the nature of the student experience, and that's really worth capturing and trying to better understand. Now, as we mentioned, registration is happening now. We will close up registration probably around the end of October. It's really key to get registered if you're interested, because there's a lot of preparatory work that goes into assuring that you and your survey experience is highly customized to your students, and that the signatures on the invitations to your students and all of the incentives that you might want to address in the promotions are all customized appropriately before your administration would launch in February. So we hope you'll join us for this project. And if not NSSE, maybe FSSE or any of the other survey tools. And again, thank you very much for wanting to learn a little bit more about NSSE, and I invite you to review the materials on our website to learn even more. Thanks very much.